Hello, what happened, everybody?
Not much. I'm getting attacked by mozzies, so I'm sort of miking down a bit. It's uncomfortable.
What?
The other
Attacked by
guys
Nazis?
have mosquitoes.
Oh. Well, I'm gonna put I look for that clip of William Shatner. The
Yeah, check
only
it out,
way
mate.
you can see it here, I'll put it in the live stream. The only way to see the original is this one that I found. They cut the other ones because it's so bad when he comes out. Here's the timestamp for starting it. It's so bad. Like, first of all, the way it lands is like 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 a like basically anybody in there would be fucked, especially if they're not wearing seatbelts. They're like it just looks like so bad. Like they cut the landing and like the way it thuds to the ground, and then when he comes out at the timestamp, you can start it there. It's just so bad. Like everyone's popping champagne, and he's like standing off to the side, like he doesn't care, like he doesn't want to be involved in the champagne popping. And then he starts talking, and it's such a put on that even Jeff Bezos realizes it, and he like starts popping champagne, and then they cut over to him like later on, and the ones that you see like that come up first on YouTube don't show that part at all. It's so bad they just had to cut that out because it just like it's obvious that they didn't fucking go up there. And then the way the thing looks, even with this Katy Perry one, they like show the close up of it when they zoom in on it after it lands. It looks all dark and like it had some kind of like fire burn on the outside of it, and then you cut to the one of them coming out, and it's super pristine, like it was just been sitting there waiting to be filmed with them coming out of it. Oh, Katy Perry, what a sellout! Not that she wasn't always. I think she's definitely. It seems like she was that chick too, the little baby that they said was going on, that was killed by her parents, like the same parents. You seen that?
What the Perry's reaction was on. I'm watching this video that you got, just looking at the landing. There's a lot of dust.
Oh yeah, the way it hits.
If you just compare that right to the moon landing, like in what is said to be a very sort of like fine dust upon the surface of the moon, and then you look at this landing here.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's such a thud. Like definitely not safe to be in that thing when that thing landed. It was way too hard. And they don't show that. Like regular news clips now don't show that really hard thud, and they don't show when he first comes out and he starts talking, and he's like trying to give his like recollection of being up there, and everybody else is off popping champagne. They're not interested in what he's saying at all. And then Jeff Bezos realizes how bad it is and starts popping champagne, and then walks over to him again, and it is like just the worst acting if you watch that. It's just like so obvious. Anyway, Gio, we tried to come in here and give you some life. I don't know if you're listening.
What the hell's going on with all these camera shots? So, like, there's a heap of dust, and then there's nothing.
Yeah. And then they go to the pristine little pod. Yeah, listen to that speech. I got to go now anyway because it's 3 in the morning. But
Yeah, do you think, bro?
yeah, check out that video. Check out that you'll laugh your ass off at William Shatner trying to sell it. Everybody should do this. Everybody needs to do this.
It's kind of also a little bit interesting in the sense that, like, most of these movie guys and actors and all the rest of it, right? Like, they when it's done for the movie, they got plenty of times to take and retake and retake and all the rest of it. But I'm just got to assume that they're under the pressure of this one take situation, which is why it sort of looks a bit dicky sometimes. But anyway, you got to roll, bro.
Yeah, I gotta go, but check that out. And anybody else, I put it in the live stream. Get some other people in here, hopefully.
Yeah, I'll hang around for a bit, see what happens.
Right on, brother.
It's 3 a.m. though, man. Like America's closed. America's asleep right now.
America's down for the night. Yeah. See you in the morning.
Might be a couple of Aussies floating around, causing a
Yeah.
bubble.
All right, brother. Talk to you soon.
Au revoir.
Oh, hey, by the way, did you realize that we can't land a plane on a spinning ball? Did you still think we can? I thought of a way of explaining it. Actually, I thought of you when I was of a way of explaining this. Okay,
No,
let's
give a rack.
say the Earth is flat and stationary, right?
Mm-hmm.
And which it is. But let's just say, like, if you're a baller and I'm talking to you as a baller. Okay, so the plane takes off, right? Flies to the equator area, whatever that is on the flat Earth, and lands as if it's stationary and level, right? That's how they're taught. That's how they fly, point A to point B. There's no turning of the Earth. There's no faster speeds or anything. So that's how they're taught to land and fly. And if it was stationary and level, that would be no problem, right? So now you teach the guys that it's stationary and level. They take off and they fly, but now they're on a spinning ball where the equator is moving 1,000 miles an hour, which is faster than anywhere else on Earth, right? They're not in this. They're not attached to the Earth because the fact that they use the conserved momentum from being on the Earth to stay in sync with the latitude that they're at means that they're not trying to claim it's the air pushing the plane along. Even if it was, the air is not supposed to be in sync with the Earth anyway because it causes the weather patterns. But anyway, regardless of that, why would you think it would be just the same if you taught the pilot to fly and land on a stationary Earth, that now it's a spinning ball and there's no difference? He can just land and fly like it's stationary and flat?
Yeah. I would never say that it should be exactly the same. It's just silly.
But it would have
I
to
think
be
they would have
because
to
that's
be
how they're
they'd
taught.
have to be trained for it. Yeah, no, but they'd have to lead the target and all that stuff. What did like? I mean, are you familiar with what a torque converter is in a transmission?
Yeah.
Yeah, what is it? So, like, you can imagine the Earth as something of like a torque converter where the jello is moving faster at the surface because there's more friction or whatever the bullshit is that they say, right? And then as
Yeah.
you come down from your high altitude position, you're slowly moving into that fluid that's like that denser fluid that then is rotating closer to the gear mechanism of the torque converter, basically. That would be the analogy.
But even if that was the case, you would notice that change in the air moving you would be something that the plane, the pilot would have to be aware of. And for
Oh
him to
yeah, for
put his
sure.
faith in Jello to make him safe, to have a safe landing, like think about like telling a new pilot, okay, now we know that nothing was said in the training about the Earth moving or the different tangential velocities or the Jello air that's going to save you from not being in sync. You know, like all those things would never be like. Can you imagine a new pilot being told that right before his first flight? Like, what? I'm depending on this Jello atmosphere moving the
Mm-hmm.
plane without me knowing it and making me in sync with the Earth so I can land. Are you
No, the
kidding me?
computer does it, bro. The computer does it, bro.
Yeah,
Don't
the
worry about
computer,
it.
right?
This
You
computer is computer.
know.
You know the drill.
I'm sure that the Wright brothers had a computer to help them, right?
No, I didn't think they got that high off the air, but off the ground, I should say.
Well, any kind of early, even the higher ones, not that long ago, didn't have computers, you know.
Yep.
So it wouldn't
This is
work
why I
because
think they
it
got rid of
defunct the globe.
This is why they got rid of. Is it a Zeppelin or a Zephyr? Zeppelin. I think it's a Zeppelin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they got rid of that. Had to. Did make sense.
Well, it had to because it would. You would be able to see the Earth not turning,
Yeah, that's
and
what
it
I
was just
suspect.
too good.
Yeah.
There was a cool documentary I was watching on that the other day. There was they were talking about how it was just like amazing. Like inside you had like sleep compartments and like full on like weeks worth of gear, and they could
Dude.
launch planes from the bottom of it. The planes would come out, and it
Yeah.
would be like the best war machine ever. And it could get hit with fire in certain areas and still be fine. Like the whole
Yep,
thing
yep.
about
They
the
had bladders.
Hindenburg with it.
Yep,
Yeah, like
for
it was the
sure, dude.
perfect. It
Apparently,
was too
America
perfect.
had, and they had like I think I may have seen the same video. And it's interesting because I watch a bit of your content that you post as well. Um,
Yeah,
and yeah, that video came up, and apparently, like America had two of these big bad boys or something. Like
yeah.
they're like air. What are they like? What do you call the big ships? The aircraft carriers, and then you had this aircraft carrier thing. I don't know, whatever. Um, and it had like turrets or something at the top, like with little shooter guys that could climb right up through the blimp and
Oh
far out.
yeah. It's like it shows that there's a world control that doesn't want us to know we're not on a spinning ball. Like that. That is like has to be the reason they got rid of it. It's so useful and so amazing and so powerful. Why would they have gotten rid of it for any other reason?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's more about the sort of long-term observation sitting up in the sky. If you could just book a flight
Hmm.
on a Zeppelin and sit up there with your P1000, you'd see some pretty gnarly stuff. But the way they've got it set up now is two guys in a cockpit, and everyone has to jump in a tin can plane, and you get this little tiny itty bitty window to look out of. And it's for as fast as they can get you through the sky. That's what they're essentially trying to do, unless they want to conform to the distances and maybe they slow it down in GP and all that jazz, right? But
A lot of things make more sense if there's more land, even within this pond, right? So I figure they have another good piece of land where all of these people live, and they still have all of those things. Even like if there wasn't any more land, they could have found a way to cloak those, like with the mirrors and the sky, and make it so like no one could see the blimp. They found a way to do like that invisible cloaking type thing. Sure, they could do it pretty easily with mirrors. And I bet they still have those. I bet the rich and rich, the rulers of the rich, whoever they are, probably still have all kinds of shit like that. Like they never did, just like the library of Helena or whatever. Like the what was it called? What's the library that they always talk about that was destroyed? Anyway,
Alexandria?
yeah, Alexandria, right? That I bet they have all those books still, right? They didn't actually burn them. They just want us to think they burned them, right? Same thing with this kind of thing. I bet they still have those blimps that are just cloaked, and that no one can really see them from the ground,
Well, those weather balloons that NASA puts up are apparently fucking pretty epic in size. Um,
and no one sees those.
the issue is that you'd have to have a whole industry factory warehouse producing the parts and pieces, and like to get any of this large vehicle sort of stuff off the like into what you said production. It does require like a lot of moving operating hands, right? I don't think they could just
Well,
do
yeah,
this
that's what
in
I'm
one
saying.
warehouse.
They have limitless money that they spend on stuff like that we don't even know about.
I definitely think that there could actually be another continent that they could hide, just sort of depending on the land layout, such that it is you can only like in a plane. What is it? Greatest distance you can really see is about 400 kilometers. So if they just make sure that the planes don't fly through certain zones, I don't know.
Sure, they have to have more land. I mean, it would make no sense. And that we know that that's one of the main reasons they would tell us that it's a ball and there's nowhere else to go, and gives the fake flat Earth layout and all that too. There's so much land in the Pacific, or in the Pacific area, all the way that there's a whole
how
side
many?
of the
Okay,
ball that's just all water.
how many people are over there? You reckon? Like, just speculate with me or for me.
Who knows?
What
No, now
you
it
reckon?
could
Hundred
be a
thousand, two
whole
hundred
other
thousand,
population.
million?
We could have. What about if there's just as much land as we know about, and it's twice as much,
Yeah,
and
but do
they
they
go
know
back and
about
forth?
us, but we don't know about them? Like the whole population of them?
Yeah, like a whole population of people, and like you get invited, you either have to stay or you are sworn to secrecy in a way that you'll never know about that place, right? Like that's probably where all the dead famous people that faked their death but didn't take another role. They just went there. Like Kobe's
Maybe.
probably there or something. I don't know.
I think they could do like do it with a smaller place. Um, Yeah, what would it be like? A whole other civilization? Is this like the Iron? What are
When
they?
they
The
reset,
Iron
right?
people or something? Like
I'm
the
just saying,
Iron?
when they reset, they probably have like another place that all the people go that aren't in the area that they're not resetting. They reset the area, and then they go to one place and live out. They probably live thousands of years, and they live out, a certain time period. And then when they
Yeah.
reset, they destroy the place they're on, and they go back to the original place that's being rebuilt and start ruling there. Like, even if that's not true, like think if like you could live to be
Mm,
a thousand
yeah.
years old, you would be able to like orchestrate things in that way. They've gotten their
Yeah,
lifespan
but I would say that they
somehow.
would limit the population over there severely, and they would just, like, I mean, they've eradicated continents of people before, given what happened to the indigenous people of Australia. If that's real, right? They'd have to wipe out the whole like continent if it's a super large mass, right? And then they'd have one major metropolis sort of center. But I don't think that they could move too many goods and resources into that thing without like coming from the outside, or this what we call the sort of the earthly experience. I don't think that they could import it. It has to be almost completely cut off. Like you don't want to have to deal with like bringing in resources because it leaves so many pipelines open for. What do you reckon? Like, and at that point, then it means that they have to have their own industry, which then requires a whole bunch of workers and stuff. And that, yeah,
Yeah, well, there's this actually. I'm going to post this before I go. I'll even read a little section of it. But this is not a Brenner compilation. This is actually another guy that I copied the text from and then made this comp from it. But it's a different guy than Brenner, but he makes some good points about why they would lie, right? Says the first thing is being hidden is true geography. In particular, south of the equator, distances would be distorted, it would take longer, and no one would need to travel further to get to places. False data floods the world. Number one, the main place that would be different is Antarctica. The amount of resources there and their accessibility could be hidden. He goes on to say, there may be another group of people there, again, which we do not know about. If the Earth is flat, the oceans are much bigger than we know. The resources of the ocean may also be much greater than we know. And then he says, given 1 and 3, many shortages would be, which we are told about, may be artificial. This would keep the price of those goods high. Given the possibility of 2, there may be another market for resources or manufactured goods, and or a place for which to purchase goods. Those markets may be kept private. These markets may be kept for the profitability of those who know the true geography. These are other people. These other people may have technology which they may be selling to us, and which is being exploited by a few. And that goes along with like the whole ancient aliens thing, like this group of people giving us technology at a perfect time for us to advance as a society. Like if they did a reset, they could keep that technology and then just let people depend on them through all the different ages of development that they're helped along with by those same people. You know, they're just starting
yeah,
at
for sure.
scratch and like, you know. Anyway, then he goes on to like other different points, but just the fact that's his thinking about why they would lie. And then at the end he says, as far as we know about the past, knowledge was not shared. Trade routes were a big secret. Control of markets was kept for a few to exploit. Power is not democratized. Wealth is not distributed for everyone's enjoyment. Inequality was not just tolerated, but apparently created. This has never changed. Even something as basic as the true shape of the Earth and the little that we can know about our place in the universe is denied to us.
I mean, yeah, they're going to manipulate our reality, but is this to do with like other lands or something?
Yeah, he's saying that they could have other lands with their own, supply
Have you
and their own
have you seen
technology that they supply for us. It
have
would
you
make a
seen
lot
that
of sense.
that dramatized series. I think it was I can't remember who produced it. It was called Brave New World though. It was based on the book. You ever see that?
What was it called, or where I find it?
Brave New World. It's like it's a modernized version of
Yeah, but where
was
is
it
it? What's the
George
link?
Orwell?
What's the name of
Yeah,
it?
I'll grab it. It's called Brave New World.
Oh, okay. Did that even try to change the title at all?
No, they didn't change the title. However, they did jig the story in two major ways. At the end, I shouldn't ruin it for you. So,
Oh yeah, don't just
yeah,
give me the
yeah,
link.
yeah. Um,
No, I never saw it.
so what can I talk about though? Why did I bring it up? Oh yeah, its depiction, like theatrically, is of this super modern world, right? And they go to like just like in the book, they go to visit the savages on the savage lands. It just kind of makes me think about this a little bit. Like if they're hiding a large mass of land somewhere, and you've got another civilization over there, like maybe they just sort of, if they ever want to come over and check it out, like they just, this is what you should talk about. This is what you shouldn't talk about. Off you go. Here's your ticket, your boarding pass. But I don't know. Funny ideas. Then. I can't
It would make a
talk
lot of
and
sense.
I just did a Google search, man. So I don't know. Go to whatever streaming
Yeah,
service you choose to use. But that work? Yeah, it kind of works. Cool. They do actually quite well. Like I really enjoyed that series. It is pretty like overly sexualized, but then like as far as at first I thought it was like a little bit too over the top, like it was being sort of grotesque. But if the notion is within sort of the Brave New World, the new sort of modern land, that there's control of society through what is it like you don't own one another. There is no like they try to get rid of ownership. Um and what was it? They use it's sexual gratification as just like a tool, not as a like a significant sort of interaction between people as we might sort of interpret. It's just a kind of, how'd you say, like they're all keeping each other in check, such that their emotions can't go out of control and they're not allowed to own one another, or like this idea of
actually bear out to what you see in real life.
when you say